is ODI and ODI Studio agents and what are the different navigators are available in ODI and how knowledge modules works in ODI. Okay, so we have discussed all this stuff so far. So before going into the tool directly, I would like to have a discussion of how this works internally with the repository services. So basically in the ODI Studio we have our designer, next topology, operator, and then we have security. So everything what we are trying to do, and before installing our ODI, we are trying to install all the repository services in particular database, either Oracle, either MS SQL Server, either Teradata, whatever database we have in the current project, right? So basically when we are trying to install the ODI mainly has two repositories. Even though it is showing internally yesterday, it looks like it is these all are pointing to one repository. If you have a look at this one, these all are pointing to one repository only, right? So but basically the designer and operator connected to one repository, topology and security connect to other repository. But the repository is common in everywhere. Okay, so what are the repositories then? Okay, let me clear that. So we have two repositories in ODI. One is the master repository and the second one is the work repository, right? So the work repository and master repository two are there, and master repository usually handled to the security and topology only. The designer and operator are pointing to work repository. Okay, so let's have a quick look at here. See, if you have a look at this one, so this is the master repository and this one is the work repository, and this is also a work repository. This is the development work repository, this is a production work repository. See, a work repository can connect to only one master repository only. Here it is one-to-one relation. If you see this one, this is a one-to-one relation. But if you have a look at from master repository to work repository, here this should be one-to-many relation.
So my question is, like
yes,
in one environment, there can be only one master repository or multiple master repository?
only one master repository.
Okay, and when you say this work repository development and production, like what is the difference actually? Because whatever the mappings we have, like I'm trying to relate everything to Informatica because this is what I do, but that is what I understand. So in Informatica, we had that repository concept, you know, where all the metadata and everything lies. Now I'm trying to
Exactly.
understand what's the difference between two work repositories.
Okay, good question. See, we have a master repository. This is the main one. See, let's see. Look at development environment. The development environment has a main repository, and this main repository is to save the topology and your security connections. Okay, this can handle only this stuff only. All your project works. See, all your project works are going to be if you're trying to develop mappings, you're trying to import the models, you're trying to execute procedures. Okay, all this type of coding are go and save in the work repository. So if you have a look at this too, and coming back to your question, so the development environment has one work repository, and the production has one more work repository. This is what, and you can have other work repository here also.
So what you are saying is, let's say I have a development environment and I have a test environment, I have a production environment. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Now, what we do generally do is we create install Informatica in all of these three environments. Then we do the development. Then we export the repository or mappings in form of XML, and then import it into the test environment, and finally we move it to production. So here you are
Yes.
saying only all the, do we have, let's say we have three environment, development, test, and production. So
Yes.
all three environments will have only one master repository. That's what you are saying?
No, 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 no. See, one master repository only connect to the one work repository only connect to the one master repository.
Hmm.
See, we have a work repository where you have implemented the models, execution, everything. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and you connected this work repository to one of the master repository M1.
Right.
Okay, and your work repository is W1. If you're trying to connect the work repository to another master repository, then it won't allow you. But
Okay.
you can have another master repository M2. Okay, if you have another master repository, you can create your own work repositories again. This
No,
is what I'm trying to say.
my question is, like in one environment, let's say development environment. Okay,
Mhm.
I have a machine which is my development environment. In that I have master repository and work repository. And I have second environment which is my test environment. In that I also have one master repository and work repository. Third is my production, master repository, work repository. So I'm trying to understand why I will need two work repository in one environment.
No, this is just saying, okay, I'm just telling this one for your understanding purpose. You can have only one only. Why do you need two then? See, this is for understanding purpose. I'm trying to say one master repository can have any number of work repositories.
Okay.
You can have only one here.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just ignore this figure here. Okay,
Okay.
and if you have a look at this one, this should be work out.
Okay.
You don't
Okay.
need
That's fine.
second work repository.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, this is what I'm trying to see. We have a look at the next slide. You'll come to know.
Mm.
Let's
Okay.
look at here. See here. This is the development. This is the work test environment. This is the production.
Mm.
Okay. So what we are trying to do, we are trying to export all the models, and then we are trying to import that one into the test environment. If
Mm.
you have okay, uh, a master repository is common everywhere, then there is no need of exporting this stuff. If you don't, if it's not common, we are trying to export all this master repository work into the same into the next environment QA,
Mm.
and then if you don't have the same master repository in production, okay, we need to again export all this security, topology, and versioning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see, this is M1 and this is M2, this is M3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is for development, this is for testing, and this is for production. And let's
Mm-hmm.
see, now this is pointing to this one and this is pointing to this one. That looks good now. You're
So
trying to confuse that.
yeah,
This
generally,
can,
yeah, what you are saying is generally, like we have different environment, and every environment has its own master and work repository, and we move a metadata from one environment to other, like in the way of exporting and importing, right?
exactly.
Okay.
Okay, is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going back here now. If you have a look at this, the overall architecture here, okay,
Mm-hmm.
see, this is the design what we have currently. Okay, operated topology, security, and I have shown this one so far in the last session. Okay, this is the new one. Okay, and see here, the every ODA studio is connecting to my repository. I'm not saying any master work repositories here.
Mm-hmm.
My repository. Okay, and the repository is connecting with the schedule agent. If you have a look at this one, This is a scheduler agent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is schedule agent. So when you have developed a code and you are trying to kick off the job, the operator is going to contact with the agent. See here, the mark. Okay, is going to contact the agent. Agent is trying to get the particular metadata and submit it to the repository, and the repository is going to get all the details. It will submit to the operator navigator.
Can you repeat that one more time? How the
Sure,
sequencing will work?
sure. See, you have developed all your code,
Mm-hmm.
and it's time to execute your job
Mm-hmm.
from designer. When you
Mm-hmm.
kick off a job from the designer, the agent will go and contact to the agent will go and get all the details from here. It is trying to kick off the agent. It's a
Mm-hmm.
Java lightweight version agent. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
then it is trying to contact with the repository services agent, and it will go to the repository and get your code, what you are trying to execute, and
Mm-hmm.
it will submit to the operator.
Oh, it
Okay,
will get the
operator.
code from repository and submit to operator.
Exactly, that's what, right? It's,
Mm-hmm.
you're trying to running a workflow. It will go and contact the repository to get the code, and
Mm-hmm.
your execution is going to show in the monitor,
Mm-hmm.
right? The
Yeah.
same way it is happening here. But here they have introduced a lightweight agent called a lightweight one. We are calling it as agent here. It's a Java-based agent.
Mm-hmm.
See here, Java any platform, whatever it is. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is a web browser where you can browse all your metadata or production things if you'd like to have a look at your production stuff. Okay, so we can go to the web browser, but mostly high level developers won't use web browsers. Like, okay, we are trying to use all our work in the designer, operator, topology, and security only mainly.
Okay, so let me repeat this. What you are saying is, when I'm in my designer, and I want to kick in my job, so basically, when I try to execute a job, then that request goes to agent. Agent connect to repository, get the metadata, and submit that information to operator, where we can see the progress of the job.
Exactly, true.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so that's what I missed in the last session,
Mhm.
and let me go back now.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm trying to jump into our tool now. So, okay, if you want to open your tool, go to Start after installing the ODA. So go to the All Programs. You can see Oracle folder here, and if you expand this, there we can find out ODA Studio. So
Yeah,
when you click
just
on ODA Studio, it will open a window like this.
yeah, I'm
Okay,
trying to do that.
okay, good. So see, we have all the options, menu tab here, file, edit, view, search button, ODI. Okay, don't worry, whenever we require, we are trying to get those details. Okay, so first our main priority is we need to connect to the ODA repository. So
Hmm.
what I said, ODA has one master and one work repository.
Hmm.
Okay, so when we are trying to install this one ODA, we are going to be provide those details in the runtime. Okay, see, I have a user of supervisor and my own password here. Okay, see here, there is a plus button, there is a edit button, there is a copy, and there is a delete button.
Hmm.
If you click the plus new button, you are trying to add a new login name.
Hmm.
Okay, so every user has his own login name in real time, like LAP. Okay, so if you'd like to see existing connections, just click on edit here. If you have a look at here, Oracle Data Integrator connection, the login name, user and password. See here, the database connection, the master repository, and the user of the master repository, and the schema password here. So what are the driver lists you're trying to connect? So here I'm using my Oracle JDBC drivers because my master repository is available in the Oracle. Okay, so that's why it is using Oracle JDBC drivers. And URL where your Oracle was installed, either in particular host. So here I have given my local host here and my Oracle port and Oracle DB name, right? Then the work repository details. So where my work repository is installed. Okay, so here I'm trying to give, see here, if you browse the option at the work repository, it is trying to show you the number of available work repositories under this master repository. So currently I have only one work repository. So I'm trying to connect to this particular work repository. And during runtime, if you would like to change your work repository, just go to the browse and select your work repository accordingly. Okay. So this is the main user, master repository and work repository. So if you would like to test it, just click on test it. So it should prompt you. So connection is successful. Okay. Right. Now I'm going to connect to my ODA repository services. Just click on OK. See, if you have a look at Informatica, when you are trying to import the metadata, when you're trying to do import metadata from any of the database, we use it to have only ODBC connections over there, right? Open database connectivity. But Oracle changed this tradition. They have come up with JDBC connections. It's a Java database connectivity. That's what. When I have shown the master repository connection, there I have shown the JDBC. There was no ODBC. The new tradition is the JDBC. Okay. So now I'm in my ODA. I just connect to my ODA repository services. Now, what not? So we can do whatever we want here. Okay. So let's show me. Let's drag me into the topology. Okay. Designer is the one when you are ready with the connections. Okay. Okay. So this is the topology navigator. This is the security. This is the operator. This is the designer. Okay. So designer we can implement the projects. In the operator we can go with the monitoring of sessions for debugging purpose, failures, everything. That's security. As I said, this is for admin. You can handle everything here. Topology. Okay. See. So how many connections? I'm sorry. How many databases Oracle Data Integrator supports so far? Okay, it can support so far 40 plus databases. See here, this is supporting H&T. Okay, and if you have a look at the Hadoop here, Hive, Hyperion, IBM DB2, AS400, Informix. See, we have Jython here, and MySQL, MicroSQL Server, Netezza, ODI tools, Oracle, and if you have a look at data we have, and our priority is file also. So file simply saying that, okay, we can import we can import metadata from the file also. Okay, see, Oracle supports this all this type of databases. Okay. Now, so currently I have Oracle database in my PC. Okay. Now I need to get a connection to the Oracle database. Okay. So I'm going to the Oracle now. Okay. And when you right click on here on the Oracle database, it is trying to show you new data server. So when you click on new data server here, it is trying to ask you name of the server, the instance, what are the instance and labeling of the server. Okay, so I'm trying to give some name here. So for my understanding purpose, I'm giving Scott_new schema. This is only the name I'm trying to give here. Okay, you do not want to do anything here, just provide your name here. Okay, and then if this is the definition tab, if you go to, we have one more tab here, the JDBC tab here. Okay, so before doing that, okay, I'm trying to create two connections here. One is the source connection and another one is the target connection. Okay, so for the source connection, I'm using my Scott schema where I can get my employee table. And the target is a fresh schema, okay, where I have created ODA underscore target, ODA underscore target. Okay, so I have already my Scott schema available. So I'm trying to connect to my schema here from ODA. Okay, so if you have a look at this one, the JDBC, here it is trying to show you Oracle JDBC driver, and if you would like to change that, okay, we can change whatever the database you have it over here. Now, Nitin, can you please go on mute? I think your keyboard sound is reflecting to us. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just muted myself.
Thank you. Okay. So the JDBC URL here, we are trying to provide the host of the particular database where it resides. Okay. So my database resides on my local system. So I'm going to be provide as localhost. So what are the port and service name? Okay. Here my port is 1521 and my service is Oracle 1. Okay. So you can remove this one, the port and service name I have given over here. Okay. Once your JDBC URL is ready, just click on test connection. It will
I have a
prompt you.
question here.
Yeah, please.
Which Oracle database you are using? Are you using 11G or 12C?
I think it's 12C. One second. This is not video session.
I think $V instance.
I'm sorry. Thank you. I'm using 11G version currently.
You are using 11G version.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so when you are ready with this one, just try to click on test connection. Okay, see, when you click on S, it is trying to ask you, please register at least one physical schema for your data server. So we discussed yesterday the physical architecture, the context, and the logical architecture. Okay, the context is acting as a mediator between physical and logical. It is trying to ask you, you must create one physical schema for your data server. Okay, so when you click on OK, right, okay, see, now I'm expanding my Oracle here. Okay. I'm testing my connection now, whether it's perfect or not. Look at here, the connection is failed. So I have given a invalid credentials. Okay, so where I missed my credentials. Okay, if you go to the definition tab, here I have missed to give my schema name. Scott and my password. I'll just click on dash connection now. And test it now. See, now it's successful. Okay, so I have created my data server. Now, if you expand your Oracle, where you have created your data server, okay, so I have created data server Scott underscore new underscore schema. Okay, so when you right click on this one, okay, it is trying to show you creating new physical schema. So when you're trying to create a data server, it is trying to ask a new physical schema. Okay, so when you click on the new physical schema here, okay, it is trying to show you the schema, the main schema and the work schema. Okay, see, I have showed you yesterday what your question was. The schema and the work schema. The main schema I'm trying to give as the Scott, where I can get my metadata, and work schema where I can create all my temporary tables or whatever I want. Okay, so let's see, I have any temp one. Yes, I have ODA. No. Okay, I didn't create that. I'm giving the same Scott schema only for my temporary purpose. Okay, or do you want me to create one more?
Like I'm trying to understand, like data server you created, and then now
Yes.
you are creating physical schema. What's the difference between data server and physical schema?
See, data server is the one. It is this one simply saying that you are connecting to the your Oracle's Oracle database.
Hmm.
See, here I have given a Scott schema and I have given Scott schema, but
Mm-hmm.
here you need to give a schema in the real time where you have access to connect to all your schemas. Okay.
Mm, see, here you have given schema username and password, right?
Yes.
And in the physical schema, you are providing the same information again.
Yeah. See, this is my local system. We don't have any environments here. Okay. So that's what I'm trying to say is in the data server we need to provide a username where the user has access to all your schemas in the Oracle database like sysadmin,
Mm-hmm.
sysdb. Okay. Like if you would like to create your physical schemas, n number of physical schemas and under your data server, okay, you can create with Scott, you can create with HR, you can create with some ABC, you can create some blah blah blah.
Okay. So
You
physical,
can create
when you say data source, it means the super user kind of thing, like sys system or something like
exactly,
which DBA privileges. And then when you are creating physical schema, it is corresponding to individual schemas.
exactly.
Okay.
Okay. So I have given here the main schema and the work schema also in the same Scott schema itself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now see here, it is trying to show you the work table prefix, the loading, errors, loading, integration, temporary indexes, and the generalizing here. If we have a look at here, when it is trying to create a temporary tables in the work schema, okay, that table name is going to be prefixed with $_.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at $_ simply, if you look at $_ simply with the table name, that one simply showing that this is a errors table.
Okay.
And if you, it is prefixed $_ and your table name, that should be prefixed with showing that it's a loading table. $_ is nothing but it's integration table in our work repository. So why I'm trying to stress here, see, when you're trying to applying your SE type 2 and that was failed unexpectedly in middle, okay,
Mm-hmm.
so all your data is going to be available in the work schema, okay, with $_
Mm-hmm.
or $3 underscore in the respective work table. Okay, you can easily identify the table name by using these naming conventions. You
So
are
say I am loading my target table is, let's say, employee. I am loading data to my employee table. So let's say std type 2 and the execution has failed in between, and so in these tables wherever it has failed, whether from source to staging or staging to target, I will have to go to the corresponding table and it will say I dollar underscore employee. So employee is the target table name, so it will show I dollar underscore employee, right?
exactly.
Okay. So
So,
it will show me like what data has gone through that table or what. I'm trying to understand the difference between what will be there in the error table and what will be there in the integration table.
and don't worry, I'll show you that one. So
Okay,
I'll explicitly fail one job and I'll show you what we have
okay,
over there.
okay.
Okay. Okay. So if you want to rename, you don't want a prefix like this. You want a prefix like, you want a prefix like, some D dollar underscore your repository name. Okay. You can give like this. Whatever you
Mhm,
want, there is an option of editing. You can do whatever you want. Okay.
mhm,
So see here, and now I have given my schema name and my work schema here. Okay, if you look at the tabs here, the context. Now
mhm,
context is given to the picture. Okay, now context is coming to the picture. Okay,
mhm,
I'm just saving my connection here. This is the option for saving your connection.
mhm.
This, can you please go on mute?
Yeah.
I'm getting some background disturbance. Thank you. Okay, so this is the one you can have the option as save. See here, it is trying to say no context specified for this schema. Please specify the appropriate context to be able to use this schema in the designer module. Okay, and just click on OK. See here, is that created your new physical schema under your data server. Okay, now see here, when you're trying to add a context here, it is defaultly showing the global context. Okay, and the logical schema, if you expand this, okay, I have created any logical schema so far. These are the logical schemas which are I have available, okay, earlier. Okay, now just go to the logical schema tab here and go to the technologies, and likewise what you did earlier for the Oracle, just go to the Oracle, just expand this. Okay, when you click on here, when you click on in the physical architecture, the right click, it is trying to show a new data server. Okay, and the logical architecture, when you're trying to right click here, just trying to ask a new logical schema. Okay, so you just provide your new logical schema name here. So I'm giving for my understanding purpose Scott new underscore schema. Okay, see here, we have context here. The global is the default one. This is the one I have created. And if you in the global, if you're trying to expand the physical schema, see here, these are the physical schemas I have available in the physical architecture. Here, okay, here I have to select the appropriate physical schema which is pointing to that particular physical architecture, right? When I click, I have created a physical architecture or a physical schema here, Scott new underscore schema. Okay, so I have selected that one here, and the context is belongs to the global. When you click on here, that was saved. Okay, and if you go back to your physical architecture now, when you open this, your particular physical schema, okay, here, okay, so in the Oracle tab, we have created a logical architecture. Okay, So by using this global context, the corresponding physical schema is ordered as per new. Okay. Now let's go back to your physical schema. Okay. When you double click on the physical schema, when you're trying to add the corresponding logical schema here. So here I'm selecting my context as the global, and here you can select your logical schema. So this is the one we have created the logical schema, right? So just click on the logical schema. Okay. When you click on save here, okay. Now this logical schema is connected to the physical schema using context global. Okay. Now
Mm-hmm.
let's have a look at. Let's go to the context now. When you double click on the context global where you have connected, it will directly prompt a schema tab. Now look at here. Now I'm in context tab. Now the context is connecting to the Scott new schema of the logical schema, connecting to the respective physical schema here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now in the runtime, I do not use this physical schema name where I have created in the physical architecture. I can use my logical schema name in the designer where I can go and import all my models.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, is this clear?
Yes.
Okay, so that's fine. Okay, that's all I have for. If you have any questions, please ask me.